Good? Cool. All right, so I will preface by saying this. If you hear any heavy breathing or hyperventilating, that's just my wife filming right now who's having a panic attack that our walls are two different colors. But due to quarantine, we're gonna make do with what we got. So I'm also gonna try and avoid these little spike strips of my failed picture hanging. So what I want you to do is take your baseball and the muscles of the upper back, which we focused a little bit on in the roller as kind of a general movement. Now we're getting in there, right? So I want you to take this, you're gonna give yourself a big bear hug. I want you to take this ball and reach over top. So it's kind of like anywhere that you can reach is fair game, but as far down as my shoulder blade goes, because I'm actually gonna dance all around this shoulder blade as I expose it up into my trap, into my neck. I'm gonna stay off the spine, but I am gonna ride right next to it, all the way up into my trap up here, okay? So what I'm gonna do is take this ball first. I'm gonna make sure I got a clean spot, walk out from the wall, gently lean back, apply pressure, and give yourself a big bear hug because you're gonna need it. And as you give yourself that bear hug, you're exposing all that muscle that's underneath that shoulder blade, and you're kind of pulling it back and allowing yourself to get in there with the ball. Now, again, it looks like a bear scratching his back on a tree. That way you know you're doing it right, because you want to have a little bit step off the wall, and that gives you your angle to drive back. So breathe as you're doing this. The movements in order to floss that muscle appropriately, let's say I found a pretty good knot right up in here, right? And I have more on the left side. So my herniated discs are on the left side of my neck. So what I'm gonna do is actually turn my head away, give myself a big bear hug, and roll. And as I turn my head like that, you can gently pull your head away, and that's gonna, again, provide that sort of stretch for you, away from that muscle and expose it. I'm gonna pull up, breathe. All right, so I can go on like this for a long time because I got a lot of knots back there. But what I'm gonna have you do is, let's say I found one right here on the inside of that shoulder blade. I'm gonna take my arm up and around. I'm gonna take it through a range of motion that would expose that knot for the dirty thief of joy it is. So as I get around it like this, breathe. And I'm just trying to get some movement in there. Again, the knot exists in 3 dimensions, okay? So, as we get all up in there, you'll get onto the shoulder blade itself. You can get into the rear delt, the back of that shoulder, top of the armpit, anything that you're applying pressure to. A lot of us are gonna have tension and trigger points all up in here, again, due to that overhead or internal range of motion that we're constantly doing. So, feel free to spend as much time as you need to here on either side. I'll have to use a different angle in order to get on the top of the trap. But you can also do this against the wall for your pec muscles, and which you'll see in the other video of how to release that with the roller. But you could take the same ball, same wall, and apply tension into the wall, kind of like you're just shoving against it. Breathe, roll around. And as I mentioned in one of my videos, tight pecs generally do cause a lot of tension in the neck because we are always winged forward like this. That means the pec muscle is just getting tighter and tighter and tighter. So by releasing the pec first, you might actually have a better chance at alleviating some of your neck pain and a lot of your symptoms that come from bowing your head forward all the time. But I'm gonna go back and forth in here. If I find a trigger point, I'm gonna go up and around. That hurts. I'm gonna roll back and around, floss that muscle out. As that feels good. What you would do if you wanted to get into the top of your trap, so let's say you are having some neck pain that's running maybe from the jawline, or you're having headaches in the back of your neck, I'll do a separate video on that. But what you can do is take this ball, and let's say you have a door jam. Mind if I use that door? So, what we'll do is use this door here, and I'm gonna take the ball, I'm gonna set it right on top of the trap here. And I'm going to bow forward and lean. And I'm just going to take it for everything it's worth. I got that whole door jamb there, right? Now it's a small range of motion, so you're not getting like the major circles that you would from the other muscle groups. And it will probably slip off even. But be gentle. You can look the opposite way as you're doing it, and just that alone, you'll feel a lot of release and a lot of stretch there. You could bring your ear to your shoulder, right? So right ear, right shoulder as I'm rolling on the left. Going up and down. I'm gonna take that arm, pull it back, expose that trap. Again, that'll happen. It's easier when it's a flat wall, but all up in there. Be gentle with it because it will hurt. Breathe. Lost that arm, let it hang around. But for those of you who are experiencing either a lot of headaches or tension that runs up into your neck at the end of the day, that's a really good go-to to try and provide some relief for you. As I mentioned, you can get this pec, the ball, anywhere up in your pec, up underneath the collarbone, into that shoulder. You could take it down into the bicep. Anywhere with this trigger point, you're going to get a lot of relief from it. But mostly is trying to alleviate some of these. Yeah. Trying to put the ball where you need to back here. It's all a game of angles. And then you just lean back and scratch your back like a bear on the tree. That's it.